Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaur Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Privajekacharya Satsara Satya Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Shama Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Maya Purnavadvait Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kalachanji Dham Ki Jai. Bari Hat Maranga Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Literature Distribution Ki Jai. Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Probably came
from the spiritual world. No, but it's the most beautiful melody.
Music? Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hey Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Hey Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Hey Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Oh Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Oh Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Oh Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Thank you, sir.
Where do I go?
Do we have a mic for people to read? Thank you. Yashomati Nandana Braja Bodho Nagada. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, last chapter of the canto, text 37 through 57. Everybody has devices they can read from. Because for the first, almost all the verses is the who's the son of who's the son of who's the son. So, and you have to memorize, otherwise you don't get breakfast prasadam. Go ahead. Oh. Yeah.
Vridha Sharma, the king of Karusha, married Kunti's sister Shrutadeva, and from her womb Dantavakra was born. Having been cursed by the sages headed by Sanaka, Dantavakra had formerly been born as the son of Diti named Hiranyaksha.
King Drishtaketu, the king of Kakaya, married Shrutikirti, another sister of Kunti's. Shrutikirti had 5 sons, headed by Santardana.
Through the womb of Rajadi Devi, another sister of Kunti's, Jayasena begot 2 sons named Vinda and Anuvinda. Similarly, the king of the Chedi state married Shrutashrava. This king's name was Dhamagosha.
The son of Shrutashrava was Shishupala, whose birth has already been described in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Vasudev's brothers named Devavaga had 2 sons born of his wife Kamsa. These 2 sons were Chitraketu and Brihadbala.
Vasudev's brother named Devashrava married Kamsapati, by whom he begot 2 sons named Suvira and Ishuman. Kanka by his wife Kanka begot 3 sons named Bhaka, Satyajit and Purijit.
King Srinjaya, by his wife Rashtrapalika, begot sons headed by Vrisha and Durmarsana. King Shyamaka, by his wife Surabhumi, begot 2 sons named Harikesha and Hiranyaksha.
Thereafter, King Vatshaka, by the womb of his wife Mishrakeshi, who was an Apsara, begot sons headed by Vrika. Vrika, by his wife Durvakshi, begot Taksha, Pushkara, Sala, and so on.
From Shamika, by the womb of his wife Sudharmani, came Sumitra, Arjun Pali, and other sons. King Anaka, by his wife Karnika, begot 2 sons, namely Riddharma and Jaya.
Devaki, Ravi, Rohini, Bhadra, Madira, Rochana, Ila, and others were all wives of Anaka Dundubi, Vasudev. Among them, Devaki was the chief.
Vasudeva, by the womb of his wife Rohini, begot sons such as Bala, Gada, Sarana, Durmada, Vipula, Juruva, Krita, and others.
From the womb of Pauravi came 12 sons, including Bhuta, Subhadra, Bhadrabahu, Durmada, and Bhadra. Ananda, Upananda, Kritaka, Shura, and others were born from the womb of Madira. Bhadra, Kaushalya, gave birth to only 1 son named Keshi.
Vasudev, by another of his wives, whose name was Rochana, begot Hasta, Himangada, and other sons. And by his wife named Ila, he begot sons headed by Uruvalkya, all of whom were chief personalities in the dynasty of Yadu.
From the womb of Dhritadeva, one of the wives, Anakadundubi, Vasudev, came a son named Viprashta. The sons of Shantidev, another wife of Vasudev, were Prashama, Prasita, and others.
Vasudeva also had a wife named Upadeva, from whom came 10 sons, headed by Rajanya, Kalpa, and Varsha. From Srideva, another wife, came 6 sons, such as Basu, Hamsa, and Suvamsa.
By the semen of Vasudeva in the womb of Devarakshita, 9 sons were born, headed by Gada. Vasudeva, who was religion personified, also had a wife named Sahadeva, by whose womb he begot 8 sons, headed by Shruta and Pururava.
The 8 sons born of Sahadeva, such as Pravara and Shruta, were exact incarnations of the 8 Vasu in the heavenly planets. Vasudeva also begot 8 highly qualified sons through the womb of Devaki. This included Kirtiman, Sushena, Bhadrasena, Raju, Samardana, Bhadra, and Sankarsana, the controller and serpent incarnation. The eighth son was the supreme personality of Godhead himself, Krishna. The highly fortunate Subhadra, the one daughter, was your grandmother.
Okay, I guess I'll do this one. Arya, go ahead, do that one.
Whenever the principles of religion deteriorate and the principles of irreligion increase, the Supreme Controller, the personality of Godhead Sri Hari, appears by his own will.
So now we'll do the Sanskrit for the focus verse. Nayasya janmano hetu karmano va mahipate atmamayam vinishashya parasya drashturatmanaha nayasya janmano hetu karmano va mahipate atmamayam vinishashya parasya drashturatmanaha nayasya janmano hetu karmano va mahipate atmamayam vinishashya parasya drashturatmanaha. So synonyms we can do together. Na, not. He, indeed. Asya, of him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janmanaha, of the appearance or taking birth. Hetu, there is any cause. Karmanaha, or for acting. Va, either. Mahipate, O King Maharaj Parikshit. Atmamayam, his supreme compassion for the fallen souls. Vina, without. Ishashya, of the supreme controller. Padashya, of the personality of Godhead, who is beyond the material world. Drashtuhu, of the supersoul, who witnesses everyone's activities. Atmanaha, of the supersoul of everyone. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. O King, Maharaj Parikshit, but for the Lord's personal desire, there is no cause for His appearance, disappearance, or activities. As the Supersoul, He knows everything. Consequently, there is no cause that affects Him, not even the results of fruitive activities. Purport. This verse points out the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and an ordinary living being. An ordinary living being receives a particular type of body according to his past activities. Karmana daivanetrena jantur deho papataye. A living being is never independent and can never appear independently. Rather, one is forced to accept a body imposed upon him by Maya, according to his past karma, as explained in Bhagavad Gita 18:61. Yantra rudrani mayaya. The body is a kind of machine created and offered to the living entity by the material energy under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the living entity must accept a particular type of body awarded to him by Maya, the material energy. According to his karma, one cannot independently say, "Give me a body like this," or "Give me a body like that." One must accept whatever body is offered by the material energy. This is the position of the ordinary living being. When Krishna descends, however, He does so out of His merciful compassion for the fallen souls. I'll read that again because that is blissful. When Krishna descends, however, He does so out of His merciful compassion for the fallen souls. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:8, Paditranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. The Supreme Lord is not forced to appear. Indeed, no one can subject Him to force, for He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is under His control, and He is not under the control of anyone else. Foolish people who, because of a poor fund of knowledge, think that one can equal Krishna or become Krishna are condemned in every way. No one can equal or surpass Krishna, who is therefore described as asamardva. According to the Vishwakosha dictionary, the word Maya is used in the sense of false pride and also in the sense of compassion. For an ordinary living being, the body in which he appears is his punishment. I'll read that again too, because that's an important point, distinguishing the difference between the living entity and Krishna. For an ordinary living being, the body in which he appears is his punishment. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya durataya. This energy, this divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But when Krishna comes, the word Maya refers to his compassion or mercy upon the devotees and fallen souls. By his potency, the Lord can deliver everyone, whether sinful or pious. Let's chant the Mangala Charna together. Om Agyan Timidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. O King Maharaj Parikshit, but for the Lord's personal desire, there is no cause for his appearance, disappearance, or activities. As the soul, as the super soul, he knows everything. Consequently, there is no cause that affects him, not even the results of fruitive activities. So, who can remember the first sentence of the purport by chance? It doesn't have to be word for word. Or the whole theme, or the gist of the whole purport. It's like a class, so we we see what we're already absorbing, what we've already taken in. Anybody remember? No, go ahead, Kartikeya. Sorry, you got the mic.
Well, I was going to say the same thing. The difference between the Lord and the jivas.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So the first sentence says, this verse points out the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and an ordinary living being. Right? And then I repeated certain sentences in the purport that I thought were impactful. One was that the body that we have is a punishment. Is that easily digestible or easy to swallow? Not always, right? Sometimes it's said that the body is a punishment, like it's saying here, but it's also a special blessing. In the human form of life, we have the opportunity to get out of the bodily concept of life and get out of the material entanglement and the whole process of birth, death, old age, and disease, the whole samsara cycle. The human form is the most opportune vehicle for liberation and for going back to our original nature, right? Sometimes it's said in the hellish planets, the suffering is so intense that it's too hard for the living entity to meditate and concentrate on the spiritual energy. They're just suffering more. And that in the heavenly planets, that the enjoyment is so intense that it's also hard for the living entity to think of their spiritual nature. So sometimes it's explained just like a skyscraper building. The heavenly planets are the higher floors, and the hellish planets are like the basements and the lower floors, whereas the human body is the ground level where you can exit the building. So although it is a punishment, just like a nice parent, they may punish the child, but it's ultimately to rectify, right? It's ultimately to bring more good character to their child, right? Because they may be doing something harmful for themselves and for others, the parent may punish. So similarly, all of us in the material world, that we have the body means that we're sinful, right? Whether you're Brahma, the most pious person living in the universe, or whether you're the most sinful, if we have a material body, means that we've gone against our spiritual nature and our eternal relationship with Krishna. So the distinction is great, is vast, right? When it's said that our body is a punishment, but then when it says Krishna appears, what does it say in the verse? From the kids maybe can say, without looking, what does the verse say? How does Krishna one come? In the first sentence of the verse, anybody remember? Jaishnav's just looking at the genealogical tables here. So, go ahead, Kartikeya.
Out of his own will.
Yeah, right? The first verse says, O King, Maharaj Parikshit, but for the Lord's personal desire, there is no cause for his appearance, disappearance, or activities. So Krishna is supremely free to do as he likes, right? He's Satya Sankalpa. Whatever he desires can manifest. Just thinking about it can manifest. That's another distinction between the living entity. We may desire something, let's say, to become healthy, right? Okay, we got sick, then we have to change our diet. Then we have to go figure out how to get healthier food. Stay determined to eat the healthy food. You know, now I have to figure out an exercise regulation. So there's so many things that we'll have to do if we desire something. But Krishna, just by Satya Sankalpa, means his very desire happens. That's a big difference, right? And even ourselves, we may desire something, but if it's not our karmic circumstances, then it won't happen, right? Also, like the 5 factors of action, the living entity is one of them, and the desires of the living entity is part of it, but the supreme sanction of the Lord has to be there, just like Krishna is the cause of all causes, right? In the verse it also says that consequently there is no cause that affects him. So this is a big distinction also. Although we're eternal, most of the time it's phrased that Krishna is the cause of all causes. So sometimes they even say we're created by God, right? It's a terminology. Although we're eternal, Krishna, it's also explained just like all the different incarnations of Krishna. Sometimes it's explained like there's one candle that may light up all the other candles. And Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam, that the supreme form of the absolute truth is the two-handed form of Krishna. and that He's the source, although all others are also eternal. So this is basic spiritual knowledge, right? This is like lesson number 1, that we're not the cause of all causes. And that may come as a big surprise to a lot of us when in the material world. Why are we here? Because most of us, or all of us to different degrees now, are trying to exude our potency or be God, right? Sometimes I've heard Devamrita Maharaj once said in a class in LA, he said at the devotee level, if we're suffering or if we're not feeling the eternal ecstatic nature of prema bhakti, that means to some degree within our heart we're still envious of Krishna, or we're still wanting to be the supreme or the controller or the enjoyer separately. So he made it a point that it's not that we look at the altar and we think, oh, instead of Radharani, instead of Krishna, I should be standing there. It's not gross, but it's subtle. To the degree that we want to enjoy separately from service to Krishna, to that degree we're envious of Krishna's supreme position as the supreme enjoyer. So that's what we're all, just like the verse says that the body is a punishment. So sometimes they compare like ISKCON to a hospital, right? What is that we're all trying to get cured of the disease of wanting to be the supreme, the center of all, attention, the supreme enjoyer. And it's, sometimes they say if the first class disciple, they listen and they apply it. They can hear from Prabhupada, oh, I'm not God, I'm the soul. Let me digest it and act upon it. The second class person, they hear, but they have to experience pain and misery from not following wholeheartedly the advice of the acharya or the guru. And the third class, they may not even care, right? So that's what devotee association is to go deeper and deeper into accepting this point that we're not God and that we're the eternal servant of God. But we have it backwards. In material attitude, we think just like sense gratification is, if I get things for my immediate gratification, that's pleasure. That's what the misconception of material sense gratification mentality is. But the service spirit is actually the spiritual pleasure of the soul. And it's so blissful that even Krishna is curious, just like in the role of Lord Chaitanya. Why did, even though, like I was saying before, even though they're all eternal, they say that Lord Chaitanya, Krishna was thinking, how is Radharani feeling so much bliss serving me? I don't feel that much bliss being served by her. She is Mahabhav, right? The Radharani experiences the topmost spiritual emotions and pleasure by being the servant of Krishna, of just wanting to eternally, selflessly give pleasure to Krishna. So this is also the nature of every soul, of all of us, that when we switch, just like, what is Maya? Maya means that we've turned our Bahir Mukha. I forgot the rest of it. We turned away from Krishna. But Krishna consciousness means we're turning back to Krishna. And the mentality of turning away from our selfish desires for pleasure and turning it more and more and deeper and more subtly, more absorbed in giving pleasure to Krishna's senses, right? Sarvopadiva nirmuktam tatpadatvena nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchate. That giving up all different upadis or different designations of our misconceptions of our body bag, thinking I'm a this, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Indian, American, I'm this, I'm that. Give up all the different misidentifications and engage our senses in the service of the master of the senses. Rishikesha, Rishikena, Sevanam Bhaktiruchate. So then the soul starts to wake up, Jeev jago, Goda chanja bole, Kotani jajao maya, pisachira kole. Wake up, sleeping soul. We're sleeping in the lap of Maya, and Goda Chandra, Lord Chaitanya is saying, wake up, wake up. So how do we wake up? By what we're doing now, hearing. It's such a easy and sublime request by the Lord. So this is very momentous. All of you that are coming daily to Srimad Bhagavatam and taking the medicine to reawaken our dormant, loving relationship with the Lord. Because now we just have, I think, one more class and then the 10th canto. So Srimad Bhagavatam is sometimes it's compared to the body of the Lord. They say that the first 2 cantos are the lotus feet of the Lord. And the third is like the calves. The fourth are the thighs. And I was curious about where that came about, because when I was reading this verse, when it said the Lord appears out of his own sweet will, and I was thinking, okay, now we're coming into the 10th canto. What is the 10th canto compared to? The smiling face of Krishna. Just like it's recommended when we come for darshan, we look at the lotus feet of the Lord and we go up and then we see the face of the Lord. So there's this beautiful verse that one great soldier, Vidaprabhu, poeticized in English. This is a verse by Bilvamangala Thakur, and he says, "Sweet, sweet is my dear Lord's form, sweeter still his face so fair, but his honey-scented, gentle smile is sweet beyond compare." Maduram, maduram, sweet. So this is the blessing of Prabhupada, that we're able to see Krishna, that we have Kalachanji in our lives, that we have the Bhagavatam, it's translated, and that we're coming to the 10th canto. The 9th canto is compared to the neck of the Lord. And this, though it's the neck, this chapter is titled Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the last chapter of the 9th canto. So I was curious, where does this comparison come from? It's in Prabhupada's purports where he compares it, but then I looked it up, and this devotee Gauranga Darshan, he did a article in Back to Godhead, and he quoted the verse. So the verse comparing Krishna's bodily features to the different cantos is from the Padma Purana, and he gives the Sanskrit here also, but I'll just read the English. So the first and second cantos of the Bhagavatam are Sri Krishna's lotus feet. The third and fourth cantos are his thighs. The fifth canto is his navel. The sixth canto is his chest. The seventh and eighth cantos are his arms. The ninth canto is his throat. The 10th canto is his beautiful lotus face. The 11th canto is his forehead. The 12th canto is his head. I bow down to that Lord, the ocean of mercy, whose color is like that of a tamal tree, and who appears in this world for the welfare of all. I worship him as the bridge for crossing the unfathomable ocean of material existence. So that's from Padma Purana. And then another interesting thing that came up when I was looking into this, speaking on this verse today, was there's 10 topics of the Bhagavatam, right? Can anybody remember some of the 10 topics? This is from the Bhagavatam itself, 2nd Canto, Chapter 10, Text 1. Because it also relates, like we were saying, the first canto is, the first and second canto are like the lotus feet of the Lord. So the different 10 topics are also discussed in similar chronological order. So I'll just read them out. I'll read the Sanskrit too. Acha sargo visargascha stanam poshanam uttaya manvantare shanu kata nirodha muktirashrayaha. So the first topic is Sarga, universal creation by the Supreme Lord. 2 is Visarga, secondary creation by Lord Brahma. 3, Stanam, positioning all living entities in various planetary systems. And 4, Poshanam, protection of the devotees by the Lord. So that's like, as it's saying, it's the 4th topic. It's also in the 4th canto. All the different pastimes are around the protection, how the Lord protects the devotees. And then the 5th topic is Uti, inclination to act. 6th canto, anybody remember from reading? Manvantara, the reign of Manus. Ishanukata is the 7th topic, the topics of the Lord's incarnations and devotees. 8 is Nirodha, annihilation. 9, Mukti, liberation. And 10, which is what we'll all be hearing soon, is Ashraya, the supreme shelter, Lord Krishna. So just as a meditation, I was thinking when we look at the deities, or when we read the Bhagavatam, the first canto is compared to the lotus feet of the Lord. Who remembers anything about when they took darshan of Radha Kalachandji this morning? What's maybe decorating the Lord's lotus feet? Go ahead, Kartikeya.
I was going to give the mic, but when I look at Kalachandji's lotus feet today, I was meditating on something that I heard. I heard or read that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, while you're chanting your rounds and you are in each one of the beads, meditate as if you are massaging Krishna's lotus toes. And I was looking at his feet, and I remember that, and I said, oh, so beautiful. And I have massaged your lotus toes, and that's what I
enjoy. Thank you.
What I saw today.
Anybody like to share about their darshan of the Lord today? Mr. Bhagavan?
When we went to Denver for Thanksgiving, I showed my granddaughter a video of Krishna in his boyhood pastimes, where he kills the Keshi demon and a few other demons. So she's 6 years old, and she's saying, why is Krishna herding the horse? Why is Krishna killing a bull? Or why? She's just seeing the picture, the cartoon, and a lot of people might wonder that. I think when first time I opened up the Krishna book, first thing I saw was just a little boy killing big monsters,
Yeah.
and I didn't really understand it. I think a lot of people have a little trouble understanding why is Krishna a little child? He kills Putana, he kills Bakasura, he kills. It's like a little kid wiping out these people. So, how do we understand? Seems like he's hurting people.
Well, just like when we take darshan of Radhakala Chanji, where we're advised to focus on his lotus feet and go to his thighs or his calves and his thighs and up to his chest and neck and lotus face. So the pastimes of the Lord, which is also the 10th canto, is the lotus face of the Lord. The first 9 cantos are meant to prepare the consciousness. It's not that you can't. Even now, I've been told, I've been in temples for a few decades, I go right to the face. That's maybe my sahaja mentality, but Prabhupada's so empowered that if you read Krishna book to the kids, they get the whole picture. They get the philosophical understanding how Krishna's all-loving and the supreme cause of all material and spiritual energies, and that at one level, on a certain level, we can't understand. Even the gopis, on a spiritual level, they were like, Krishna made a mistake in killing the calf, and you have to be punished, and that's how Radhakund and Shyamakund appeared, and the whole pastime took place. But Prabhupada gives us the tattva, gives us the clear reality of Krishna's supremacy and Krishna's unlimited merciful nature. And then it takes time but even just looking at the picture and asking, then the soul is concentrating on Krishna and thinking, okay, why? And it's purifying and good for the soul. Why does Krishna do this? Why does Krishna do that? Well, we have to come to understand, ultimately, all of us don't, even we may not bring it up like that, like your granddaughter did, but to some degree we don't accept that Krishna is all merciful, that what he's going to do, what he does to others, or specifically what he will do to us, is for our best interest, we think. And that he's omnipotent, omniscient, and unlimitedly compassionate, like the verse says here. We don't accept it ourselves to different degrees. So we're chanting the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It purifies our consciousness to see Krishna in his true position. Otherwise, we're all at different stages of, envy, basically, of Krishna's position. You like to add anything, or anybody else would like to say something?
Okay, well, when I was in like a mental hospital named Terrell State Hospital, I was blaming God for being on court-ordered meds in the mental hospital. So what the Yama do is get me for blaming God for being on court-ordered meds in the mental hospital. What do you think?
Well, now you're not blaming God, right? Now you're coming daily and chanting and taking prasadam, and you're feeling more and more devotion, right? So Krishna's more loving, Prabhupada says, than millions of mothers. So would your mother eternally condemn you for mistakes you've made? No, so Krishna won't either. Krishna is giving you chances at every moment to choose him and to become more devoted. Yeah, the devotee association is the most powerful and most amazing blessing of Krishna to help us. So we should always stay in the association of devotees and serve with devotees and serve the devotees. Then yeah, Krishna, that's that one verse that says Sadhavo Hridayam Mayam, that Krishna says the devotees, not only does it, sometimes they translate are in my heart, but Krishna, the translation is also says they are my heart. So you serve the devotees. Even we've done terrible things, we rectify it by acting positively in service of the devotees, to try to please Prabhupada and his followers and sharing Krishna with others. Then all of our previous offenses and misgivings will be forgiven. Anyone else like to share?
Well, I had a question, Jagaranga. Thank you so much. In your class, just to clarify, did you say that Lord Brahma suffers from karma like the conditioned souls? Did you mention that?
Well, I was saying that, I was stressing the point that if you have a body,
right,
that like it said, like Prabhupada said in the purport, it's a punishment. So if you're in the material world, you've been given the body bag, you've been given the jail suit or whatever, that means bottom line is that,
I was researching it a little bit, and it says that although that Lord Brahma performs karma in the creation, that he's not bound by material consequences like the human beings, like the jiva
he
soul.
may be, and now a pure devotee is acting, well, if in the Brahma, and that platform, but that he's in the material world means that he's acted in a way. It's also explained that to become Lord Brahma, you're the most pious person in that universe. And when there's nobody of that qualification, then Krishna becomes Lord Brahma, right? So that they're very pious, and then from there, if they're, like our Brahma is the founder of our sampradaya. So they're not incurring more, but if they're you're in the material world, means that to some degree you've acted against your eternal spiritual relationship, which is
he's born from the lotus of the Lord. He chants the Brahma Samhita prayers to the Lord.
Yeah.
So I don't know, my understanding was he is engaged in the act of karma in the creation as ordained by the Lord, but that he doesn't suffer karma like the individual jiva souls, like the human beings. That's what I've read.
He could. Just like it's also explained that every one of us at first became, the first entrance into the material world is a Lord Brahma. You remember reading that? Yeah, so if you go down, what does that mean? That means you're getting karmic reactions.
Well, for example, he also has to die, right, at one point. So he tells Hiranyakashipu, even I cannot give you that. I have to die. So somehow or another he has that reaction of in the material world. And then again, when he gets bewildered with his daughter, he's somehow or another he's affected by the modes or so.
Well, I don't know that lila. Yeah, some sampradayas they don't accept that.
No. Well, anyway, that's
but yeah, I hear
that's
what
I
you're
was
saying.
thinking.
Yeah, because as the founder of our sampradaya, we see that as a strong lesson of how intense and empowered Krishna's material energy is. But it's also supposed to be seen as a Krishna's doing, just like Arjuna he's a pure devotee, but he was put into bewilderment for the whole lessons of the Bhagavad Gita to be taught to all of us. Yeah, for sure, they're not ordinary living entities, but the point was that if you're in the material world, then you have the body bag, you have the body, even if it's a subtle body, that it's a punishment of that's the way it was phrased, so. Okay, Mishra Bhagavan.
I was listening to a morning walk conversation one time on cassette, so it was some time ago. The Prabhupada said that Lord Brahma is not a pure devotee. And all the devotees on the walk were like, everybody was like shocked, And then somebody says, well, but Prabhupada, he's the head of our Sampradaya. He composed the Brahma Samhita. He's Haridas Thakur. And then Prabhupada said, he is devotee. That is what matters.
Maybe he wasn't, and when he became Haridas Thakur, he was. Who knows? I mean, that's beyond my pay grade for sure. The mic's not on.
Hello?
Hello.
At one point, my son's wife wanted to name their daughter Maya, and my son said, well, that's not a good name for a daughter, and he gave so many reasons. However, in this last paragraph of this purport, but when Krishna comes, the word Maya refers to his compassion or mercy upon the devotees and fallen souls. By his potency, the Lord can deliver everyone, whether sinful or pious. So it just struck me that in this last sentence,
Yeah.
it
If they have
refers
more
to
kids, you can say, go ahead.
Right.
It's actually means Krishna's energy also.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so I'll just read. Anybody like to say anything? I'll read what Gauranga Darshan says about the 10th canto to get a little meditation for the upcoming verses. So he says, the 10th canto represents the beautiful lotus face of Lord Krishna and vividly describes the topics of Ashraya, or the supreme shelter. Shri Krishna, the supreme shelter, Shri Krishna. Sukadev Goswami ecstatically describes in the longest canto the appearance and pastimes of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka, Hastinapur, and other places. This canto's descriptions of Krishna's unlimited transcendental attributes, his amazing reciprocations of the love of his devotees, and his compassionate deliverance of those inimical to him, are the worthiest subjects for one's contemplation. They constitute the most precious gift for the devotees to absorb themselves in Lord Krishna's glories. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Gaur Premanandi.